Okay, so Chinese dumplings. I'm going to first start by making a starter. Now what a starter is half a cup of water mixed with half a cup of flour, there we go, whoops, 1 teaspoon of sugar and 2 teaspoons of yeast. Let's get myself a teaspoon. Oops, they're over here as well. Sugar. Some sugar. 2 teaspoons of dried yeast. Let's move that out of the way. And let's continue to mix this up. Now this is called a starter because it gets the yeast started. Smells wonderful already somehow. So the recipe will be down below, and this is Bad Food Blog, so the dumpling mixture isn't going to be filled with what you're expecting. You're expecting pork or something. Well, I'm going to be using hot dogs and cheese. I know this sounds very odd, but that's kind of what Bad Food Blog's about. Making a good food and making it a little bit bad. So the filling won't be ground pork, so it's going to be, you know, a little bit of chili, garlic, cheese and hot dogs. Chopped up fine. Thank you very much. So I will show you this when the dough's ready. Essentially you've just got to leave this to stand for half an hour. Somewhere nice and warm. To be honest, I don't even think it's going to need half an hour. That's already starting to look like it's breeding. And then we do the, well, that looks pretty easy. So mix the starter in with the rest of the dough, which is 3 more cups of flour, 1 cup of water, 1 teaspoon of salt, a quarter of a cup of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of vegetable oil, which will be going in this big bowl here. I think that's going in that big bowl there as well. Don't want to stir it up too much, but I do need that sugar to dissolve. So one thing about granulated sugar, it does need to dissolve. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. I'll pick it up the next stage when I'm making the dough shapes, and ready for that. So, starter's been out for a while and just added the water, and I'm now putting the rest of the flour in. 1, 2, 3. Wow, 1/4 of a cup of sugar, that's quite a lot. I'm entirely sure that's enough water there. Two teaspoons of oil. Or is that 3 teaspoons of oil? 2 teaspoons of oil. Let's get a trusty old wooden spoon. This dough is then going to be left to rise just a little bit. consistency of the dough is working out okay at the moment. Tempted to drop this in the food mixer for a little while to knead it. Might be the way to go, right? Oh, second toss now, I'm not really in the mood for that. Might have to get my hands dirty, get in there and properly sort it out. Well, that looks like it's going to be the way to go. Also, it appears to be a bit too sticky. Oh. Before sticking your hands into some dough like this, make sure they're floured up. You're never going to keep your hands clean making dough, but it's better to have dry flour on them than sticky dough. It's a little bit easier to clean off. You see why I have the other thing there. So typically it's going to be slightly more absorbing as well. That's more of a consistency I would expect. Just get any of the stuff that's off the side of my fingers, and that's going to be ready to put aside for half an hour while I grate some cheese and get the lovely steamer out. Now, I got two ways of doing this. One of my ways, which is quite frankly quite lazy and therefore quite good for the show, is to use the rice cooker, which is great for steaming things like dumplings. I'll tell you why. Because it keeps a nice consistency, low, so it doesn't spill anywhere. But I do have a proper bamboo steamer. But I need to put it on soon because it takes 20 or 30 minutes to get up to temperature to put stuff in. Stuff has to go on greaseproof paper as well inside it. I'll show you that later. Stuff will have to go on greaseproof paper inside either. With a rice cooker, I could be cooking rice at the same time, but you generally tend to get the stuff you're steaming covered in juices from the rice cooker. It doesn't work so well. Slightly drier steam heat from the bamboo cooker. There we go. That dough can go and sit over there for a little while, and see you guys later when I've got myself cleaned up. So what I'm going to put in here is Schwartz 5 Chinese spices, which works really well. That just goes in with chopped up, look at this, chopped up hot dogs. Haha, doorbell. I won't be able to reshoot this. Probably a chef, my son, for video games. Thank you very much. So now I'm going to grate the cheese, put that in there, and then mix it all in. So in case you don't want to watch me grate cheese. Well, I could grate cheese and then tell you how I mistakenly bought 5 kilos of cheese because I didn't realize it was priced by the kilo and it was a giant block. It said £4, and I thought, oh, that's good. And I didn't read the per kilo. I was in one of those big outlet wholesale type stores. You have them in the US called Walmart. This one was called sort of macro. It's only intended for people with businesses. And well, when you freeze cheese afterwards, because obviously you can't eat 5 kilos of cheese before it goes off, once you've frozen cheese, it becomes very crumbly. Now, one thing with it becoming crumbly is you can make a cheap cheese seem like a more expensive cheese by freezing it, because it gives you the texture of a matured cheese and somewhat of the smell of it. So there we go. I've grated the cheese into there, and at the moment this dumpling mix isn't really sticking together. As you probably gathered, it's going to need something else to make it stick together. Now, what's that going to be? Now, I don't want to colour the flavour at all, so I'm going to use one of my favourite things, was just a sauce, just to make it all sort of stick together, give it some fluid, and it's something that everybody who's having this meal likes. And here is the steamer. And it's not quite up to temperature yet. I've actually turned it down, but steam comes out of here, as you can see. The food goes in these little holes. Let me show you them. All made out of bamboo, on top of greaseproof paper. Little squares of greaseproof paper, which I'm going to make up in advance. So let's get that up to temperature, and then I'll construct the dough, which should be fantastic. So here we go. The dough's risen a little, and now I need to make the dumplings ready to steam. Over there is obviously the steamer. So let's get on with this. Probably not a flattering angle. And gonna need to flour the surface first. Let's get rid of the. I actually think the plastic's going to work in my favour. Okay. Alright. Okay. So, need to get this ready for dumplings. It's quite an easy thing to do. See, how much dough do you need for a dumpling? Well, not very much. Okay. Okay. Just want the dumplings to all be roughly the same size. That's a good size. It's maybe a little too large. So let's incorporate those back into that. So you can do this as many times as you want. If you're not happy with the size, go back and start again. There's nothing wrong with any of this, nothing perfect. That's better. Okay, let's go. So, as you can see, got the dumpling shapes ready. Okay. Right, need to keep the flour over here because I'm going to keep using it again and again. So, just going to make a lot of hollows. Okay. What do I do with the spoon? Where's the spoon? Okay, I'm just saying. Gee, can you be just a tiny bit quieter? Sorry, but you're going to be able to look at the video. Sorry. That's okay, G. Right. Okay, so let's take these and start filling them. Then place that. Yeah. Ready. There you go, another dumpling done. So it's just then a case of filling the dumplings. You can see, you just have to fill the dumplings, placing them on the paper as you go. The dumplings are going to completely cook in the steamer. And, you know, some of these have got too much cheese in. It might leak out, but it's not going to cause too much of a problem. It's probably going to be absorbed by the cooking. The dumpling is very sticky. With the greaseproof paper as well, nothing drips down in. So, I think you've got the process now. So now I'm going to show you me doing all of them. Dumplings, I need to put them inside the steamer. So, just pop them in like this. And I tend to put, they're going to rise, so you can't really jam 4 in. But this steamer, you can pretty much get away with 3 quite comfortably, if you can see that. Sorry, the handle's in the way there. You see that? You can get away with 3 quite comfortably. And then it's just stack it at the bottom, get the next one, and place that on the top, and yet again. So I could do 9 at once, and this is a very small steamer. If you've got one of the big ones, it'll take, you know, 5, 6 per layer. You can do a lot better than this. I can basically only do 9. But they're very filling, they swell up nice. These are filled with cheese and hot dog with 5 Chinese spices, going to taste wonderful. There you go. It's very hot, by the way. Might not seem it, but I have been steaming it for a while because getting some heat into the bamboo really helps with the cooking time and stops it getting too soggy in there. Now, turn it up to about 405 on my electric cooker. And I've got to top off the water to make sure I'm not boiling it dry. You chop off the water, you've unfortunately got to turn the temperature all the way up again. It uses about a cup of water every 30 minutes depending on the size of your pan. For my very small pan, I have to turn it up to 6 because now I'll turn it up really high because the dumplings that are in there are going to bring the temperature right down of the escaping water vapor, which is a gas and condenses on them. The greaseproof paper is there to stop them just falling through. And also, just because greaseproof paper isn't damaged by water, isn't damaged by heat, isn't damaged by the food, and doesn't stick to the food. Right, let's have a look when that lot are done. So here are the dumplings cooking, and I put this towel over just to sort of trap some more of the steam in. So you can see it's on well, medium heat. Sorry, the cooker's a little dirty when we were frying earlier, and the steam is getting up through. This is seriously hot to touch now, extremely hot. And if we the tea towel's on there just to sort of help with the process of it heating up. I take it off, there's not much steam coming out because the steam is condensing. This level is extremely hot, whereas this one just feels warm. I'm just putting this on just to sort of help the process and keep it all nice and warm. And I can start to feel some warm vapor coming through, but it's going to condense on these levels. And when these levels reach close to boiling, then, you know, as the levels reach close to boiling, I'll be able to feel how hot it's getting. While it's doing that, I need to have it on a relatively high heat. So I'm going to pop it all the way back up to 6 until I see steam coming out the top, and then I'm going to turn it down again, because the energy I'm putting in at the bottom here, it's turning into water vapor and is condensing, and the energy is coming up here. It's a great physics lesson. So the bottom 3 are ready. I've moved them to the top to show you them cooking, and as you can see, I believe they're getting close to ready because they're very firm to touch. They haven't gone completely white yet, so I'm going to leave them a few more minutes, see if they change colour, but I think given how firm they are, they're basically ready. Steamed dumplings. So here they are cooked. They're firm to the touch, they're no longer at all sticky, and they're ready to come out. It's been about 20 minutes. Next you'll see them on the plate. So here we are again. Here are the finished dumplings, and of course serve with some soy sauce. And yum 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 yum. I'll let you know how they are after eating them. Thank you very much, thanks for watching, and this has been Bad Food Blog. And here's a close-up of the finished dumplings with a little bit of light soy sauce poured all over them. Yum 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 yum.